Best and worst exercise for your erectors? We're gonna get it. All right, guys, erectors. An often neglected muscle, or something that people don't think about necessarily targeting directly. They're just like, oh, I'm gonna do deadlifts, or I'm gonna do rack pulls. And I think it's a back exercise, but to me, I've always thought about erectors as a specific individual muscle group. Yes, will it work when you're doing bent over barbell rows or bent over T-bar rows, anything that's gonna be spine supported and your chest is gonna be over your toes, 1000%. But to me, erectors are always placed. When I was younger, I used to do pull-ups and right into deadlifts because they were gonna be your hardest exercise, the exercise that you needed the most weight. So I thought, oh, I wanna be strong on it. So we would do a shitload of pull-ups to warm up, right into our deadlifts, and then do all of our rowing variations off of that. That's what I did when I was young. Now, as I got into bodybuilding and really started to think about training and building a back, I started placing erectors at the end of back day. So you do all your pull downs, all your rows, then you go finish with erectors, whether that be rack pull, a hyper extension, a reverse hyper, a good morning, you name it. So what I thought I would do is talk about how to structure your erectors. I like to put those at the end of back because honestly, the way I used to do them first, right? Even though you could do a lot of weight there, by the time you got into your bent over barbell rows, your T-bar rows, because as you know, I was a big Ronnie fan, I thought you had to go pull up, deadlift, barbell row, T-bar row, dumbbell row, seated cable row. That was that. I always found that stabilization of the spine was horrible because I wrecked it with deadlifts, and then we go right back to that bent over posture for the next 2 exercises where that really isn't smart exercise sequencing and programming. So with erectors, I want to place this at the end of your back so that way you don't get low back cramps while you're trying to train your dumbbell rows, your barbell rows, one-arm barbell rows, even your pull downs, for Christ's sake. If you have a lower back pump, it's not comfortable. So, but those at the end of back day, then go right into abs. So a little quick talk through of erector intelligence training. Now, all in all, if I could go back and do my bodybuilding all over again, here's exactly what I would do for a back day. I would do a straight arm pull down to activate my lats. I would do a lat pull down, 9 times out of 10, a neutral grip with a wide. Then I would do all my rowing and then finish with an RDL. I know you're thinking, what, an RDL? Why? Well, I want to get a little bit of hamstring, a little bit of glute, but then that really smashes my erectors when I'm done slow and controlled with a barbell or dumbbells. So all day long, my favorite exercise for my erectors is going to be the RDL. And why I say RDL is because when I'm doing a conventional deadlift, I'm using my quads to drive off the ground. With the RDL, I'm taking it completely out of the equation. It's all going to be erector, glutes, and hamstring. As opposed to a regular deadlift, it's going to be quads, hamstrings, glutes, and erectors. So I actually want to reduce, and by pulling the quads out, because quads are a strong body part for me, I want to take this out of the equation and not give me any strength to get it off the ground and get it moving. So for me, all day long, a dumbbell or barbell RDL is going to be my favorite. If I had to pick one, it would be the dumbbell RDL. Now, I know you'll probably be limited in the gym you go to, may only have 100, 150 pound dumbbells. Luckily here at Elite, we have 180s, so that would never be an issue for 99% of people. So the dumbbell RDL placed at the end of your back day before you do abs and then go home. And then for sets and reps, like a top set to back off, or simply just 3 sets of 8 to 10. Either one of those are gonna work really well. All right, my least favorite, and I know I see tons of guys doing this, the trap bar deadlift, or some people call it a hex bar. For me, it'll always be a trap bar. Anything with a neutral grip where you step inside of the box. And the reason I don't like it is because it's so much quad. Like honestly, I would train quads on that before I would train erectors because you're so much leg drive, guys. This is not a lot of back. So if you're doing it for back, I highly recommend you switch off of it into any of the things that I just listed, an RDL, a rack pull, a good morning, whether it be with a band, a dumbbell, or a barbell, doesn't matter. All gonna be better options for your erectors, and I'm speaking specifically for erectors. Is it a great overall power movement? 100%. If I had football player, wrestler, baseball player, athlete, any athlete, I would have them doing this. It's a great all-around builder of strength. But for bodybuilding and building and thickening the erectors, would not choose this at all. Not a fan. Way too much quad. And honestly, I used to have one of my guys who was strong at pulling, but had weak quads. I'd have him, because he loved it so much, doing the trap bar, I'd have him do a heel wedge, and then we would train his quads on it. So I'd do a shitload of leg extensions, and immediately make him go into heel wedge trap bar deadlifts. And you talk about killing his quads, like they would blow his legs up, and it would scratch the itch of deadlifting for him, and it worked really well. So a long, drawn-out video here to simply say, my favorite erector is gonna be the RDL. My least favorite is gonna be the trap bar deadlift. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, Treadmill TV.